Hey guys, Tom here, and welcome back to another episode of The Garage, in my garage. Today, I don't have a whole lot of notes for today's topic, so I'll try and flesh it out a little bit without fluffing it. Fleshing is different than fluffing. That sounds really dirty. We're not going to talk about that anymore. Today, we are discussing the best supercars to buy for under $100,000, and this is using information from late 2019, so it should be kind of relevant. Let's dive right into it. So the first car I've got here is the Lamborghini Guyardo, especially the 5.0 cars, which I think sound a lot better than the 5.2s. Sorry, Huracan owners. Imagine a 5.0 swapped Huracan. God, that would be awesome. Anyways, Lamborghini Guyardo, 5-liter V10. According to this, the range was like 80 to 90,000 in late 2019. That would be cool. Imagine owning a Lamborghini for under $100,000. That's not much more than most brand new BMWs and Porsches, the lower tier ones. If you're looking at GT3s and things like that, it's going to be over 100 grand. But a Lamborghini Gallardo for under $100,000, you get a V10, you get that awesome sound of the 5.0, and you've got a supercar. Now, the only downside is that because it's an older car, you have some troubling technology. If you want the gated manual, go ahead, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of gated manuals. I think the value of it is a little strange. I think it's more of a purist thing because I don't think it's very useful in a race, like rev matching and downshiftting and all that. But there's also the E-gear. The E-gear, for the most part, is okay, but it's not the best. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be dual clutch. It's not going to be the Huracan DCT. But Lamborghini Guyardo. Up next, we've got the 2012 to 2013 Ferrari California. 483 horsepower, 4.3 liter V8. The range is 90K to 99K, so it's on the upper end of the spectrum. It's a Ferrari. What else do I need to say? Another Ferrari we've got is the Ferrari 360. The first Ferrari I ever kind of liked, thanks to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. The range for these is 70K to 95, depending on which version you're getting. I would try to get like a Modena rather than a Spider or a Stradale. A Stradale is not going to be cheap, so don't bother with that. That's going to sound amazing. It's going to look good. You're going to have the Ferrari V8 sound. You could get a red one. It's another option. I don't really know what else to say. It's got similar transmission options to the Gallardo with the gated manual and also not E-gear, but something very similar. Not everyone's a fan of it, but you are getting an older supercar. But it's still a supercar, and you can still definitely enjoy it. Up next, you've got the Ferrari F430. Similar range, $70,000 to $98,000. Some argue it sounds better than the 360, and I can kind of see why. And this is definitely an option. It looks great. There are body kits out there for it. So if you want to modify it, you could do that. People have twin turboed them before. You could have a lot of fun with this car. Up next, and Dave of DDE will like this, the McLaren MP4-12C. The range on these cars is $70,000 to $98,000, and it's a McLaren. It's the MP4-12C. It's the first car they made after they reorganized their company, is, for lack of better words. I don't know if reorganized is the best thing to say, but the MP4-12C, when it came out, was leaps and bounds better than the 458, and at times was faster than competitors like the Guyardo and the Audi R8, the 5.2 cars. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of Top Gear where they all went to Spain and Jeremy Clarkson had that Metal Flake 12C. It's a very cool car, and I love the way it's got the 3.8 liter V8 that is used in many of the cars up until very recently, which was replaced by the 4-liter one. Yeah, I would say it's a piece of history. It's a very significant car, and it's a very good car. There is the whole electronics braking in McLarens and stuff like that, but when you're buying a supercar, expect to have expensive problems. That's just how it works. If you're buying any car, new, used, expensive, cheap, things break. You gotta understand that. It doesn't matter whether a car is expensive, cheap, used, new, things are gonna break. I got this car in 2017, this is a 2015, and I've had to fix so many things on this car, and most of it wasn't my fault. Not all of it, but things break. New or old, expensive or cheap, it doesn't matter. It's just part of the responsibility of having a sports car. Up next is the 2011 to 2015 Aston Martin V12 Vantage and Vantage S. Another car that's at the top end of the spectrum, $90,000 to $98,000. These cars look gorgeous. What else do you want me to say? It's an Aston Martin. If you want a classy, elegant car, get this. This is what I would argue is a proper V12. Not necessarily to be made to be fast. You could make it fast, but this car is a feel-good car, a grand tourer, a very, very beautiful car. I just realized we're still looking at the AMG 1. And finally, we've got the Audi R8. Only ever powered by the 5.2 as far as I know, unless if you've somehow got your hands on the Audi Le Mans Quattro, which is out of the question. That was powered by a twin-turbo 5.0 Guyardo engine. So 2011 to 2017, the range is $76,000 to $98,000. You could get an older one or a slightly newer one, basically, and that would bring you all the way to like the very top end, $98,000, or you could get one of the older ones, which is what I prefer, for $76,000. And it's an Audi R8. It's German. It's an Audi. It's going to be indestructible. It's going to be great. It's going to be well made. It's going to be fast. It's going to feel good. The only thing I don't like about the Audi R8s, I don't know if this is the case in the older ones, but in the newer ones, the paddles for changing gears rotate with the steering wheel, which I think is terrible, because if you're doing this, you might accidentally press the wrong one. You might get used to it, but I think it's better to have them fixed separate from the steering wheel, like in a Huracan, where you can turn, downshift, upshift, upshift, instead of having to go downshift. Oh no, that was upshift. I just don't think that's very good. But yeah, the Audi R8, that's another good choice. So I'm no journalist, but those would be my choices in terms of supercars under $100,000. I'm sure there are many others, depending on how you define supercar. In my opinion, by the way, I do not call the 911 GT3 a supercar. I call that a very high-end, top-of-the-spectrum sports car. Exotic, but not a supercar. The 918, though, is a supercar. Actually, I'd say that's a hypercar. Let's be fair here. The Porsche Carrera GT would be a supercar, though. Top of the spectrum, though, once again. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of The Garage. List down and below in the comments, what are some supercars that you could possibly get for under $100,000? And would you actually be tempted if you could? A lot of these cars are very nice, very cool, very historic, actually. So let me know what you guys think of the cars I listed. List some of your ideas, and I will see you guys on the next episode of The Garage. I'm Tom, the Racing Joker. I'll see you all next time. Peace.